Good morning, students. Let's start with a new topic, structure. So, what is structure? We have gone through the concept of array. What we have learned, array is a collection of similar data type. That means it is a collection of more than one number of elements having the same data type. Either it can be integer or float or character. Let's say I have told you to store the roll number of all the students. Roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, all are integer. So what you will do, you will create an array of 50 to 56 for the 50 to 56 number of students. So what you will do, you will create an integer array that will hold the roll number of all the students. Then I will, let's say, then I have asked you to store the total marks of all the students. So marks is the data type of marks will be float. So what you will do, you will create an array of float data type and you will store all the marks of the all students. Again, if I told you to store the grade, final cumulative grade, only one grade of all the students. So what you will do, you will create again an array of character data type and you will store the grade of all the students. So according to the requirement, you are creating an array of a particular data type. But let's say I ask you again to some particular roll number, what what is your roll number and what is your marks. That means I have asked a particular student about his or her roll number as well as marks. That means the roll number is integer and the marks is in float. So it need two number of variables. One variable will store the integer part and one variable will store the float part. That means integer is for roll number and float is for marks. Similarly, if I ask you, I want the roll number and marks for all the students. So what you will do? You will create two number of arrays, one integer array to store the roll number, one float array to store the marks of the all the student. So you have to create two number of array. So to overcome this problem, the concept of structure came into existence. That means rather than creating this two array to store two different variables, two different value of having different data type. So the developer has come with the idea of structure. So let's start with structure. What is structure? And this is very important uh, for this exam also for the coming year. You have data structure in the next semester. So structure plays an important role in that subject. So let's start with the structure. So the first line I have written, it is a collection of dissimilar data type. That means what? Array is a collection of similar data type and structure is just the opposite of that. It is a collection of dissimilar data type. So coming to the third point, it is a collection of heterogeneous data elements. Array is a collection of homogeneous data elements and structure is a collection of heterogeneous data elements. This point is important. Second point, it is a user defined data type. Integer, float, character, all these are primitive data type of primary data type. Derived data type is array. The meaning of that array is already fixed somewhere, that is defined. This is the array. That means array will hold more than one number of one number of elements having the same data type. That means homogeneous in nature. But this structure is a user defined data type. How it is a user defined data type? Let's say I want the roll number and marks only. That means you are you are giving your data with respect to roll number and marks only. Let's say some other teacher wants your roll number and grade. So what you will provide? You will provide the roll number and the grade. So there are two different type of data type, but that can vary from person to person. Someone is asking for a roll number and marks, and someone is asking for roll number and grade. That's fine. And so you have to give answer according to the question. So this structure is again is a user defined data type. That means we will define this data type on the basis of requirement. We will see, it will be more clear when we discuss with example. So see syntax, what is how to write the syntax. So what I have written, first there is a keyword called struct, that is stand for structure, struct, and then structure name. I have to assign some name, and within this bracket body of structure I can define any number of variables having any data type as per the requirement. So in the first requirement what we have discussed, I want integer and float. In the second requirement what is needed, integer and character for grade and roll number. So similarly I have written data type variable name 1, data type variable name 2, and this will go on. That means this is one data type. Total structure is one data type, and that contains different type of data type again within that. So I have given example. Let's say struct, again keyword struct for structure student. So name of this structure is student, or I can say here it is a user defined data type, name student with structure nature. And what it will contain, it will contain their roll number, that should be integer in nature, marks, that should be float in nature, and grade, that should be character in nature. That means if I create a single variable, if I create a single variable having which data type, having structure data type, that is heterogeneous data type, it will store roll number, marks as well as grade. That means within a single variable I can store three number of value. So three number of value, but the data type of all the three number value are different. So from the above example, what is it? An user defined data type is created with the name student. So user defined data type, again please note, it is user defined data type. How we will see. So generally how to define a structure variable. So how we will define? So normally what we write, int x. So here x is a variable having which data type, integer data type. Now I have told this is a structure is a data type. So I just replace this integer with this. So see how I have done. I have done just replacing this int with struct student. That means student is the name having structure data type. So struct student x. So x is a variable that is fixed. Here the data type is integer. Here the data type is structure. What is the name? Student. So now if I ask you what is the value of this x, so what you will tell? The value of x is 2 byte with respect to the 16-bit compiler, and the value of x is 4 byte with respect to the 32-bit compiler. But if I ask you what is the value of x, this. So if I go to this, that means a single variable is there having which this data type, complete structure data type. That means that particular variable x will contain the information of roll number, marks as well as grade. That means the size, what is the size? So size become the total addition of this all three. So see, I have written in this case int x, what is the size? Let's say 2 byte. And in this case structure, what is the size? Size of integer, that is for roll number, plus size of float, that is for marks, plus size of character, that is for grade. So 2 plus 4 plus 1 equal to 7. So if I ask you what is the size of this x when structure is given, the size of is 7. Please note that the size of x is 7 with respect to this declaration. I have defined three number of variables in that. If I define only two variables, so int and float, so what is the size? 2 plus 4, 6 is the size. So it depends on the declaration of an structure. Now it seems like this. What? So x is, there is a single variable x that is further divided into roll number, marks and grade. It is very similar to the array. A same name is there. A same name is there, and it is divided into number of different number of segments. So similarly, X is divided into three parts as we have defined. The first part is roll number, second part is marks, and third part is grade. But how it is different from the array? In that array, all these segments or cell contain the same element, but here this all segment contain different types of data elements. The first one is holding an integer. The second is holding float. This is not possible in the case of array. So size is this. Now the question arises, X contain roll number also, marks also, grade also. So how we will assign the value? How we can access the roll number only? How we can access the marks only? How we can access the grade only? In the case of array, index is used to access each element of the array because there is only a single name. How we can access? Using the index. But here all these have different data type and different variable name. So how we can access? We can access using a new operator that is known as dot operator. We will see how to access different elements of an structure variable using dot operator. So this is the last part for this video. So X contain the roll number, marks as well as grade. So let's say I want to assign roll, the value of the roll number should be 11, marks should be 55.7, and grade should be C. This X means X represent a single variable. Let's say only one student got 11 roll number, 55.7 marks, and C grade. Only one student. Now the name of the student variable is X. So how we will assign? We will assign using dot operator. See, I have done X dot roll number equal to 5, X dot marks equal to 55.7, X dot grade equal to C. Why I have given in a single code? Because that is a character data type. So that's why I have given a single code. So using the dot operator, I can assign the value. So how we will print this value? Again using the dot operator. Let's say I want to print the value of X. So the first part is X dot roll number. So X dot roll number is what? Integer. So I will write %d for this X dot roll number. This is float. So %f, and what I will print? I will print X dot marks. Again, this is character. So %c is required, and what it will print? X dot grade. So practice this with the program. Go through the theoretical part first. Try to compare array and structure. This is a very important question for Viva as well as theory exam. What is the difference between an array and structure? So first go through the difference, go through the theoretical part. What is the structure? What is the size of the structure? How you can access different elements of a particular variable. So go through that. I will explain this with the example in the next video. So for the time being, you just practice this in your home. If you have any doubt, you can contact me. So that's all for this video. Thank you.